Robert Borsak.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. I rise tonight to talk about the strata management industry in New South Wales, an industry that is at the heart of residential life of over 1.2 million of our citizens. As our state grapples with an unprecedented housing shortage, and as we work to build hundreds of thousands of apartments Australia-wide needed to alleviate this crisis, excuse me, it is essential that we address the growing concerns regarding strata management and its impact on apartment living and the cost of housing. The government's renewed focus on strata management reform is commendable, with proposed changes aimed at enhancing transparency, curbing conflicts of interest and boosting public confidence in apartment living. However, these reforms must go further. The number of complaints lodged against strata agents, over 965 in the past 5 years alone, reveals systemic issues in the industry, including undisclosed commissions, financial mismanagement and overcharging and conflicts of interest. These problems are particularly alarming as we face the challenge of increasing our housing stock. The goal of building 377,000 homes by mid-2029 under the National Housing Accord is critical to addressing the state's housing crisis. Much of the growth will be in apartment developments, which are governed by strata schemes. If strata management industry remains plagued by misconduct and mismanagement, we risk undermining public confidence in apartment living, which is crucial to accommodating our growing population. Recent reforms propose significant changes, such as increasing penalties for non-disclosure of commissions and banning agents from receiving insurance commissions when they do not actively secure the best deals for residents. These are steps in the right direction, but they only scratch the surface of a much deeper problem. The current system allows strata managers to operate with minimal oversight, often to the detriment of the very residents they are meant to serve. The arrangement between insurance brokers and strata managers, where brokers receive commissions and pass them on to the managers, often encourages decisions that benefit the few rather than the broader community of residents. This lack of transparency is unacceptable and calls into question the integrity of the entire industry. We've seen too many cases where residents, particularly in newly constructed developments, find themselves trapped in situations where strata managers are in effective control. Residents face rising costs, neglected maintenance and unresponsive strata management. These issues are not isolated but systemic, and they disproportionately affect first-home buyers and those who invest in off-the-plan properties expecting a well-managed and maintained home. Our housing policies must do more than just build new apartments. They must ensure that these homes are livable, affordable and well managed. Poor strata management can lead to deteriorating buildings, disputes among owners and financial burdens that can quickly turn the dream of a home ownership into a nightmare. In the light of these growing concerns, the government must address the following issues. First, the extent of financial mismanagement and conflicts of interest in the industry. Secondly, examine the role of developers in appointing strata managers and their influence over strata schemes post-construction. 3, assess the adequacy of current regulations and enforcement mechanisms, including the resourcing of New South Wales Fair Trading to audit and investigate complaints. 4, review effectiveness of current reforms and consider additional measures to protect residents, such as mandatory audits and increased transparency around sinking funds and long-term maintenance plans. 5, require strata managers to be licensed and subject to audit by the Department of Fair Trading. And 6, require developers of apartment strata entities to offer at least 3 strata managers for residents to choose from. With the housing crisis in full swing and with apartment living set to become even more prevalent, we cannot afford to allow strata management industry to continue operating in the way that it does, which erodes trust and burdens residents with excess costs. If we are to promote the apartment living as a viable solution for our housing crisis, we must ensure that those homes are properly managed and that the people who live there are protected and that they can actually afford to live in those premises that they've hard earned money